Britain stole Palestine from the Palestinians and gave it to the Zionists.
When did the status of Arab Jews begin to change? Was it with the emergence of Zionism in Europe, or was it the 1948 establishment of the State of Israel?
One key date is the Balfour Declaration of 1917, in which Britain pledged support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This was a classic colonial document which completely disregarded the rights and aspirations of the local people. In 1917, the Arabs were 90% of the population, the Jews were 10%, and the Jews owned 2% of the land. And yet Britain, the colonial power, chose to privilege the Jews over the Arabs. And I've written a lot about the history of the British mandate in Palestine from 1920 to 1948, but I can summarize it for your listeners in one sentence, which is that Britain stole Palestine from the Palestinians and gave it to the Zionists. That's why resentment of the Zionist movement started to build up, not just in Palestine, where the Arabs were being displaced by the Zionist project, but throughout the Arab world. There was real sympathy for the Palestinians, and there is still strong sympathy for the Palestinians throughout the Arab world today. And I'm not talking about governments, I'm talking about people. So that was one factor that changed, and the Jews in Iraq were associated with Britain, the colonial power, and because Britain was responsible for the displacement of the Palestinians from Palestine by the Zionists, that fed into hostility towards the local Jews. Then the other turning point is 1948, the establishment of the State of Israel and the First Arab-Israeli War. This is when ethnic cleansing happened. This is when Israel expelled 750,000 Arabs. They became refugees. More than half the Palestinian population became refugees, and the name Palestine was wiped off the map. This is the Nakba. It had repercussions throughout the region. The